Hey guys, it's Hana here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing my February bullet journal setup, and the theme I decided to do was this temple and sort of cherry blossom theme. So as it is Chinese New Year, I really wanted to do something that sort of related to it, and a lot of people on YouTube did these sort of Chinese lanterns, but as many people did it, I wanted to try do something different, so that's when I thought of doing this sort of temple theme. So I did a lot more drawing compared to what I usually do, but this is because it is the school holidays still and school is nearly starting, and a bullet journal is a great way for me to just get out of my comfort zone and be really creative. So before school started, I wanted to spend some time just to draw, as when school starts, I don't really have as much time to draw this much and do this much drawing involved into my setup. So next month I'll probably have my monthly theme or setup a lot more like simple. Just for this month, it was just fun to just try drawing and doing new ideas. So for the front cover, I drew a huge temple sort of off center to the right and a smaller one to the left, and I just liked how this balanced it out a bit. I also drew a whole bunch of cherry blossoms that goes around the whole page. So to create the cherry blossoms, I first drew the branches, and so the bottom branch was of course thicker, and as it went up it went thinner. So using a brush pen really helped to create this effect with starting from the bottom and applying lots of pressure, and then as you go up to the thinner branches, you just slowly add less pressure to your brush pen. So I used two different shades of pink just to have a bit of different colors going on than just all one shade of these pinks for the cherry blossoms. I also added a lot more cherry blossoms on the bottom, as it is meant to be from a lower angle, so you see more cherry blossoms on the bottom and you see the blue sky on the top. So to create the sky, I just used a coloring pencil, and for the clouds I just used an eraser and erased some of the coloring pencil off to create that effect. So for the title, I actually did it separately, as drawing markers on top of coloring pencil doesn't really work so well, so I just did February in this calligraphy ombre effect. I also outlined the temple in a really thin black pen just to help it stand out a bit more, and I left all the cherry blossoms sort of blank so it has that free flowy effect. I also used a bit of coloring pencil just to add a bit more shading that I couldn't really do with markers that much. So onto the next page. This is my monthly setup. On the right hand side, I wanted to add another temple, so I did that. You can't fully see it, you can see about half of it because it is sort of behind, I would say, the monthly sort of boxes, so you can't really fully see it, but I just like how it cleanly cuts off the line, because I did draw out the boxes beforehand so I don't go over it. So with most of the colors that I used the same colors for the temple. So for the roof I did a darker brown, and for the sort of main body part of the temple I used this tan color, but all the colors and supplies I used, I always put it down in the description bar below. I also did extra embellishments and parts using a grey for the sort of shadow and the black that is the actual parts. So I added more cherry blossoms. So here the cherry blossoms actually cut off before it touches the monthly boxes, so it sort of seems cool, like as if I had everything drew out before and then I sticked this white piece of paper on top. That's sort of what I was going for anyway. The cherry blossoms, I also did some in front or behind the temple to just give it a bit more dimensions. So for the title, I used that same February like ombre calligraphy font, and I just used this with my Crayola marker. So you don't really need a brush pen to do calligraphy. You could always do like faux calligraphy or just use a marker that can bend. So for the actual monthly boxes, I only did the horizontal lines. I didn't actually do the vertical lines this time, just to give that sort of flowy effect, as I thought it fits this theme well instead of having all the boxes cut off. So for the actual circles, I did it all in the different color themes that I sort of have going on. I also really like how when I start on a Monday and I have 4 rows exactly perfect, so I don't have any extra boxes that I have to draw. So onto the next page, I did one of those February sort of goals reflection page that I did in my January setup. I found that it's sort of nice to have a place where you set your main goals and not just the individual tasks, and just a reflection of how the month really went and how you can improve, like how were you feeling that month, or like did you accomplish all your goals and sort of stuff like that. So the drawing elements that I did for this was sort of like the pathway of rows of different cherry blossoms. This really just reminded me of back when I went to Japan. Of course, I can't really travel right now, but it just brings back really good memories, and I just thought it's really nice that I really did this theme, just sort of taking me back to those memories through my drawings. So onto the right hand side, I did a sort of playlist spread. However, I didn't do that many songs. I only did 3 songs. I found that sometimes I just listen to the same music over and over again. So if you have any song suggestions that are some of your favorites, I would love to hear what you guys listen to, and maybe it'll be my new favorite song. So I just did another one of those temples. This temple, I would say, is a bit more different. Like all the temples I did was different, but this looked really like it only had that one layer of roof, and it wasn't as tall or big as the other ones. So on the bottom, I just wrote out the different songs that I did, and I also write just the name of it and the play button and a small little picture of what the album looks like. So for this month's last spread, this was like my task sort of spread that I do. So this time I could actually separate it by each month now that I'm starting school again. I don't know exactly every subject that I'll be doing, so I know the main subjects that I've got to do, so I just wrote that on the left hand side, and then once I figure out the other subjects that I'm going to be doing, I'll just write that again on the other side of the page. So I just added a bit of these cherry blossoms sort of entwined into the corners of the boxes onto these different sides. So later off camera, I actually used coloring pencils just to add some more depth into the cherry blossoms, and the branches, so as you can see here, and it just made it pop a bit more and you could see it rather than having it all super muted. So this is going to be it for this month's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.